Hello and welcome back to the Kilohertz Mercedes channel, and I hope you're all safe and well. Currently, at time of filming, it's cold, dark and it's mid-November, so it's not exactly ideal for filming. So instead I thought I'd cover a subject which has been around for, or I guess, decades. What do all the W numbers refer to when discussing Mercedes-Benz models? Over the years, both on car forums as well as on the Facebook groups, I often see people who are new to the marque asking this very question. Unless you're a Mercedes anorak, you're not going to know what these codes relate to. So brace yourself, an extremely nerdy video ahead. So let's start with the very basics. What do these W numbers actually refer to? All car manufacturers, pretty much since the start of the motor car, have given their models a unique model designation number, which is generally not made public, right from the car's initial inception, way before the car's even launched, to avoid any confusion between models with exactly the same name. So what I mean by this is when a car comes to the end of its natural life cycle, generally 7 years or so, it's replaced for the most part with another model that has the exact same name. So for example, let's look at the A-Class Mercedes, the entry model. The A-Class was first seen back in 1997 and it's still on sale today. Now, to avoid any confusion and people saying, oh, I mean the A-Class that's the modern one, you know, not the old crappy one, the new one. Now, to avoid some confusion between the two, a number or a W number is assigned to each model so you can tell them apart. So sticking with the A-Class, it started with the first generation known as the W168, then it was replaced by the 169, the third generation the 176, I bet you thought I was going to say 170, and then finally the current generation of A-Class, which is the 177. Now for the most part, numbers are sequential, so with the C-Class it's gone from the original 190E, which was the W201, then replaced with the W202, 203, 204, 205 and now of course the 206. However, this is not always the case. Looking at the E-Class for example, we've gone from the W123, 124, then the W210, 211, 212 and then the 213. So why do they sometimes change? Well, sometimes the model number has already been assigned to a number of another car in the past. For example, with the E-Class, the W125 was already allocated back in the 1930s to a Grand Prix car, so that wasn't available. So instead, Mercedes opted for the W210 instead. Okay, it's time for a little breather. Now all these numbers are quite a lot to take in, but I do hope it's all making a little bit of sense. Now the W stands for wagon, or Wagen, if you're using the correct German pronunciation. So, Mercedes only use W numbers, right? No, this is where it gets even more complicated. We also have the C models for coupes and the A models for cabriolets. Now these are the ones that actually use the chassis from a saloon model. So for example, the C203 is based on the W203. We've also got the T models, which are for touring or estate models. Got the X models, which are for 4x4s and SUVs, excluding the G-Wagon, and not forgetting the R models, which are for roadsters, and then finally the V models, which are used for limo based cars such as the Maybach, all very rare long wheelbase variants. How can I tell what model I've got? Well, the easiest way for the most part is to look at your car's VIN number. Now it should start with something like WDB205, with W being for Germany, D for being Daimler and B for being Benz. Now after that it'll have the number, which is 205, so this would be a C-Class. Now you can't always rely on the VIN number, but for the most part you can get the information from there. Otherwise, here's a list now of virtually every Mercedes model with its model designation number. Pause the video should you need to take a longer look. Now I know this video was a lot to take in, however I hope this video has actually helped you out. If it did, please give it a thumbs up, which does help the channel with YouTube's algorithm and all that kind of thing. And if you would like to follow this channel so that you're notified as soon as I upload any new content and videos, please click on that subscribe button as well as the bell icon, and you'll get notified as soon as there's new content. Thanks a lot for watching. Until next time, cheers.